Hey dudes, with draft season around the corner, I wanted to talk to you guys about our sponsor, Trophy Smack. Maybe you've heard about Trophy Smack from the Shark Tank, or who knows where you heard about them, maybe somewhere else, maybe from us. Anyhow, if you heard of them, if you're looking for a trophy, a ring, a belt, maybe something to make one of your buddies look dumb who lost one of your fantasy teams, Trophy Smack has all of your fantasy football needs. For 15% off, go to trophysmack.com/dudes to take your fantasy football league to the next level.
This is the Fantasy Football Dudes Podcast.
What is up, my dudes? This is Trent with the Fantasy Football Dudes Podcast. I am joined by Phil, Jordan, and Seth. It is a hot one.
It's hot. Can you turn up your mic a little bit? I don't think I can hear you.
Officially the hottest fantasy pod in America, right? Is that true? Is that what you would say?
Can you guys hear him?
I'm not sure.
Test.
There we go.
I think this heat is
It's taking it out of me.
It's making me blind and deaf.
Oh
apparently.
yeah, it's hot. 105 today. What
It
is
is
it right now?
hot.
Is it still
It's
raining?
not, I don't know if
toasty.
it's 105 in here, but it's definitely
It might be
it's in the
110 in
mid-80s
here.
Yeah, I
You
don't
think
complain.
mid-80s?
I don't complain a ton about
I don't think
it,
it's
but
90.
hot.
I don't think it's 90 right now. I'm not sweating yet,
I'm also
but I will be soon, I think.
I'm self-conscious now, Phil, saying my mic isn't working.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you.
No,
now.
it's working now.
Good. So,
But it is hot.
it's hot.
It's
hot. It's
spicy.
been a hot one. We had probably the coolest June ever.
Yeah.
I don't think we hit triple digits one time in the whole month of June, which is nice.
Which is absurd here.
It's
Yeah,
absurd.
yeah.
So finally the
And now
triple
we're here.
digits. Yeah,
And
now
yeah,
we're
and
here.
here, and it's just awful.
We're in the new studio. It's not quite done yet. We still don't got any lights.
Yeah.
We got
This is what happens when Trent doesn't pay his contractor.
Yeah, exactly. So we got this place.
You went full Antonio Brown.
This thing is Okie rigged. You can check it out on YouTube at TFF Dudes. We got an extension cord going through the door. We got the windows open, and
We have a co-producer here.
We got a co-producer.
Co-parent.
We got a couple lights just plugged in. But everybody have a good weekend before we're doing our consensus fantasy football rankings here. So guys that people have, the ESPN has ranked too low that we think should be higher. So we each got a couple of those. We also got some divas on this show that you want to stick around for. But Phil, you have a good weekend. You want to recap?
Yeah, I had a great weekend. I actually, I don't know if I should bring it up right now or just come up. Can I give an early diva? Is that okay? I can come back around with another diva.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah, sure.
So I went to a lake, right? I went to a local Christian lake, the Christian camp that has a lake, Hume Lake. It's about an hour and a half from where we live, right? Super fun. Took my family there. Great milkshakes. I think you guys have all had the milkshakes there. Delicious milkshakes. Fun. Just kind of hang out, swim. But it was an incredibly busy weekend, as I'm sure you guys can imagine, up at the lake. Probably, and I guess I can't wait for this diva, so I'm just going to say it now. People who don't pull off on the turnouts if they're driving slow.
Yeah. How long
That's bad.
were you car sick or something, or what was?
I
going
wasn't
on?
car sick. I
What
was
was
driving.
the speed limit and what were they driving?
Thank you, Seth. That's a great follow-up question to my diva.
Because if it's 10 miles an hour slower than the speed limit, what are you doing? Even if it's a speed limit, sometimes I think
It was 40 miles an hour. I clocked the dude going 35.
Wait,
And there were 10 cars.
Wait, the speed limit was
Yeah,
40?
The speed limit is 40.
Do you have a radar gun?
No,
how
I'm
did
driving.
You clock this
I'm
guy?
driving behind him at 32, and I was about a car length behind him. He had to at least been driving 35, and I didn't want to risk my family's life by passing him. Also, my in-laws on a turn, and also my in-laws were behind me. So if I was just by myself, I might have
You
passed
want him to
him on
know
a
where you're
turn.
going.
Yeah, and I even gave him the flicker. You know what I'm saying? Like it says on the side of the road, it says slow cars must pull off.
Slower traffic must
Slower
pull
traffic.
over.
Did it result ever in the horn? Did you ever give the horn the action?
So this is what makes the story even better. I gave him the lights to flicker several times. Okay, this guy's driving a RAV4 Toyota. You guys know I have no problems with Toyota. I'm a Toyota guy, but this guy was driving a RAV4, and now I hate RAV4s. So it says on the sign, pull off. Give him the little flick, right? Give the guy the flick. He doesn't do it. Give it to him again. And I'm like, I simply can't do this. And I'm not going to drive behind this guy for another 45 minutes. Even if I have my in-laws following me, I'm going to pass him and just stay in front of him enough, like, I don't know, let's call it a mile and a half or a mile ahead so that they can see me on the long stretches. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I went ahead and passed him. And I talked to my mother-in-law after, and she was like, I'm so glad you passed that guy. She's like, when you passed him about like a couple miles down the road, I was just giving him the horn every single time there was a turn.
Oh, wow. That is awesome.
It was
the guy didn't pull over.
The guy didn't pull over. The guy didn't pull over.
So either he's really stubborn or
had zero clue.
I would say probably stubborn, right? There's no way someone's that clueless. But then again, I mean,
He had
my
his
diva
hands at
might
12
have to
and
do
2.
with cars.
He had his
My
hands-
diva might have to go with cars.
Was he really like nervous? Was it windy road up the mountains?
It was a windier road up the mountains.
Maybe
but
he had never drove windy.
we had surpassed the area that doesn't have the.
Let me-
Do you know what I'm talking? Like the
Yeah.
belt, what do they call that? The where they have like the blocks, so you can't go off the road. We had already passed the one because up that road there's an area that doesn't have any of those. Do you know what I'm talking about? So we had already passed that area. So every single time there was a turn, there was either a berm or we had some sort of rail guard. That's the word I'm looking for. Rail guard. So the guy wasn't going to go off the side. Don't
I'm just
drive
saying
35.
He probably doesn't drive that very
Well,
often.
the
He's probably
problem is
nervous
on
and-
these roads, even though they're
It
40,
makes me so mad you're making excuses for him.
I'm not making
Go ahead,
excuses.
Seth.
the problem is even these roads are recommended. It's the speed limit's 40, but they always put it lower than what it can be. You can drive these roads
Yes.
and make these
Amen.
turns
Thank
at
you.
55.
Amen.
You can.
Thank you.
You
Preach.
can make them
Keep
at 55.
going.
Also, if there's no other cars and you can see around the bend, there's no other cars, you can flatten those out too.
Exactly.
Just saying, the double line is there, but you can go over that.
You absolutely can. I've been with Trent, and the driver who we were with was pulling a trailer, and that guy was probably taking those turns at 65. We got there safe there and back, and we were probably
you
going.
puke?
I did not puke.
That is amazing that you didn't puke
was
on
so-
that.
But you remember that trip?
That's why I think this car sick thing's just all in your head, Phil.
Because we were having too good of a time on this most recent trip. I was listening to Trent talk the entire time, and it was terrible. So
Nauseating, as you would say.
Exactly, yes, nauseating. It was hot. The driver of the vehicle, as much as I love the guy, was driving simply too fast. Like it was. I don't need to go into that. But can you agree with my diva though?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I'm glad
I'll
you had
give
an
my
early diva.
later.
That was
Yeah.
And also, props to my mother-in-law for letting this guy have it on the turns.
Why didn't you let him have it?
Well, here's the thing. If I would have been alone, if I would have been solo, I would have. But I was worried that
But
like
not with the horn or with the flickering light. Should have something else.
no, I did give him the flickering lights. I did
But
give
it
him
would
the
have been
flickering
not
lights.
one of those. It would have been.
No, it would have been
something else.
both. No, it would have been flickering lights and horn.
And a third thing or no?
No, my mother-in-law was driving, not.
He's not getting the joke.
Yes, yes, I do get the joke. I'm not going to flip someone off. I'm simply not going to do that. I'm on my way to a Christian camp. First off, if that guy ends up at the same Christian
The
camp,
speaker in the camp.
That'd be hilarious.
anyhow, I'm simply not going to. I'm not going to do that. I'm not. The guy when I passed him he had his hands at 10 and 2.
He was scared and nervous. That's what my point.
potentially. But I think if you're scared and nervous and
Did he
you
look
see
at you?
an absolute, he didn't look at me. That's the other thing. You see an absolute caravan in your rearview mirror, you pull over.
that's
Especially,
also a point.
especially an absolute caravan, you get over.
Yeah,
For sure.
And maybe maybe I'm like, maybe I'm privileged to have been driving with someone who was driving 75 around turns with the trailer,
It
and
goes
that's
up 10 miles an hour every time he tells the story.
and then maybe that's Trent, you were on that trip.
Yeah,
I think we got there in 45 minutes, and the normal person gets there in an hour and a half.
I didn't pay attention to the speedometer once, but yeah.
I'm just saying, you're not. You and Jordan, Seth actually has my back
I
on this
agree
diva.
with you.
No, I think it's a
And-
good diva. No, I think it's a good diva. I just think that it's less applicable on like a windy road like that.
You could make an argument for drivers every week on divas.
Yeah.
No, but like the turnout is a big deal. And the reason why it's more applicable right now, I would say, is because we're in the summer. A lot of people go to lakes. A lot of people going up to the mountains, the foothills, whatever it may be. You want to go fishing, take your family out on the boat, whatever it may be. Anyhow, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I had a good weekend. I watched. Me and my wife watched Midway, the new Midway. They remade that in 2019. Should have made
it's a
our
good movie.
patriotic movie draft.
Did you see the credits at the end?
I saw the credits at the end. Yeah,
Did that infuriate you?
it infuriated me, but I still thought it was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
It's a great movie. Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah,
And
okay.
there's some awesome stuff in that. We'll
There's
talk
some
more
really.
about that.
It's a really good movie.
It's really good. It's really good. What was the other thing? Our boy Jordan has a grill. He's becoming a man.
Yeah.
Clap it up for that. Yeah. Got a grill. Yeah. He's learning how to use it. Yeah. Jordan.
Lift that lid, baby.
Yeah. Lidless. Okay. I don't know what to say.
That's our other pod. that is a subscription, though.
Seth, you haven't been on in 2 pods. How you doing, man? Then we'll get into our
I'm good.
consensus
So I'll
rankings.
talk about my last 2 weekends. Since you guys always lie and say you don't know where I'm at or come up with some dumb thing, my sister got married, so that's a legit excuse.
Congrats.
Unlike 15-minute boy over here. But anyways,
He's talking about our other pod. I can run 15-minute miles is what I'm saying. Under 15-minute miles.
Okay. Also, I guess I didn't do much this weekend. Kind of just hung out. It's fun getting ready for 4th of July. It's got hot, so I swam more this week.
Get your dog under control, Trent.
Seriously.
The river, I got in the river. The river's cold, but also when it's 100 degrees, it's refreshing. I surprised myself. I won a bet this week. I made $65.
Yeah.
We're back. We're on a burner.
No, it's not on that. I
We're
bet
on a burner.
No, it's not on that. I bet on myself.
All right.
My father-in-law, or not my father-in-law, my stepdad didn't think I could run a mile in 6:30. Ran it in 6:15.
All right.
No training.
Did you almost die?
Oh, my lungs were shot for the next 24 hours, but it was fine.
Is that why you're limping when you walked in here?
I think I actually wasn't sore at all. My lungs were just toast.
When was this?
This was on Tuesday. Yeah,
So
on
a
Tuesday,
pretty hot
and I
day.
made the bet on Saturday. And I haven't run a mile probably in like maybe a year and a half.
Did you do it at that local high
2
school on
years
a
ago.
track, or what did you do?
Yes, I did. Mhm.
Was he there?
No, he wasn't there. He was at work. I could have
You
ran
could
it
have
later.
lied.
No, I had witnesses. I had 3 witnesses
Okay.
and an official time person. So slam that thing.
Was that post wedding or pre wedding?
That was post. He made the bet before the wedding.
Okay. How is he gonna just? He was just like, Seth, there's absolutely no
I don't know
way.
why they were talking. I think they were just talking about running miles, and he's like pulling up the averages for males my age. It was like 7:30, and I was like, dude, I can run that easy. 6:30, come on.
But was 7:30s over like a period of several miles or 1 mile?
7:30 is just like the average male between like 21 and 25. It's like
Really?
the average time for I think beginners like 8 minutes, and then like intermediates like 6:38 or something like that. Anyways, I was just like, my fastest mile was in like the 5:30s. That's my fastest ever. So I was like,
When
I
you were
could
young.
for sure do that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh, it's good.
We should all run a mile, I think,
Yeah.
and just
For a
clock our
draft,
times.
for a draft.
Definitely under 15
What's your
for me.
fastest
I'd love to
ever,
make
Phil?
a bet.
Fastest ever?
Yeah.
No, I've done a 5K and I was running like between 7:30 and 7:40.
What's your fastest 1 mile time ever?
Fastest 1 mile time? I think I was in like 7th grade and I did like a 6:15.
That does make sense.
I did like a 6:10 probably pre-COVID, I think, like 2019 probably.
As an adult.
As 2019.
So is your fastest time ever on a treadmill or on land?
This is at the track.
Okay.
On land. Is that what you asked?
Yeah, track, you know. Like,
Feet to dirt? Is that what you're asking?
Feet to dirt, not treadmill.
You can't really
I
do
was
your
running
fastest
great
time ever
vineyards.
on the treadmill because you can't like
Yeah.
push your, you can't increase the speed at the end.
I don't think I've ever tried to like run a mile very fast. Not that I'm very fast. I think the fastest I've ever done is like 9:20 on a treadmill. I've never like been like, I'm going to run this really fast.
No, if you could do it, Trent, honestly, if you ran 9:20, I would like that's
You
faster.
probably get 8:30 for sure.
That's I don't think that's slow,
Yeah, that was like that was 3 years ago probably when I was just
Yeah.
like trying and then, yeah.
Anyways,
So
I
you won.
I was just happy I made
60 bucks?
$65 because I was like, I don't know how it came up. They were talking about running miles because all those old people, they all work out all the time. And I just don't want to. And I was like, he's like, there's no way you don't do crud. You can't run a 6:30. I was like, you old man. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You old fart. And I know my mom's going to listen to this pod and she's going to be like, yeah, he is an old fart. Because she believed in me.
She did?
Yeah,
we
she
should
did.
have him on the pod. He used to be a law enforcement,
He
right?
technically still
So
is.
we-
He's
so-
technically still a volunteer. So,
So
he
we
can keep
can
his
have
badge.
him on and talk about, like people driving slow in the mountains, So you're
I'm
knowledgeable
sure
with all that
he would.
stuff.
He'd be the guy to drive the speed limit. That's for sure.
Really?
Yep. Then it bothers me.
At 40.
There was one time when I was still in high school and we went to where was it? What's the lake in between Tahoe? Anyways, that's like a 6-hour drive. Well, he drove slower, so it took 7. And I was like, man, if I drove this, we would have been there in 5. Made me so mad. We drove the speed limit the whole way there. It drove me
How much were you chirping?
bonkers.
How much were you chirping him?
I didn't want to chirp anything because I know he would just drive the same thing and he wouldn't do anything. And then, I don't know, it's just dumb. We'd be like, well, at least I care about living or something like that. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? 5 miles an hour? Like faster? Like,
I like how Seth didn't have an argument with him in the car, but he's revisiting the argument on his own.
no, I honestly probably just knocked out in the car, but still, like, it makes you mad. I'm like,
No, yeah, I agree.
there's no excuse to drive. I'm sorry. Never mind. I probably shouldn't be encouraging breaking the law here, but I think everyone has done it.
Yeah.
No, you know what you're encouraging, Seth? You're not encouraging breaking the law. You're encouraging driving the speed of traffic
Using your
Which is
common
also
sense
legal.
while driving.
Yes.
Yes,
Speed of traffic is a legal thing.
Yep.
it's not, but
Speaking of speeding,
The unfortunate thing, though, is I've also driven with Trent, who will hug the right lane. The guy told me on the last
is true.
Trent likes the
Trent is
feel
the
of
right
no,
lane
Trent likes the
driver.
feel of the reflectors on his wheel.
This is what he told me, Seth. This is what he told me. If you are speeding in the slow lane, you are less likely to get a ticket.
That is not true.
And I
think
said,
it's true.
I said, based on what? He's like, I don't know. People have just told me that growing
Intuition.
up. And I'm just like,
I know a lot of people have told me that.
That's the first time I think I've
it's kind
ever
of a
heard
family
that.
thing.
If
You'll
you-
probably get lit up in the YouTube comments about this, Phil. I'm just going to let you know. And I'm glad. I'm all for it. But
what is the basis in which you make that statement?
the basis is the highway patrol don't look at the slow lane as much as they do the fast lane.
I always see
The,
pull
the
over
trucks,
though.
the trucks are always pulled over.
Yeah, trucks are easy to count
Logic-
though. Like
logic-
semis are easy. Other states,
logical, excuse
semis can go the speed limit. They don't have to only go 55. That's
true.
a California thing. So it's
We
definitely
live-
easy. It's definitely easier to catch.
No, I think it is.
semis.
I think it is.
No,
Phil.
like Texas, the semi trucks can go 75 if it's 75.
Yeah, but you do that in California. So that still goes.
He's talking about
but
the
I'm talking about
trucks.
semi trucks,
Yeah, correct.
18 wheelers.
Correct.
That's how you get like all your like.
I understand.
That's how Trader Joe's gets all their food for you and stuff like
They're
that.
driving in the same lane you're driving.
Yeah, and in California, I think it's easier to pass in the right than it is on the left.
You're insane, but okay.
I know. I think
It all
is.
depends. I think.
Probably depends, but
You can pass in every lane. It's all the same.
you can. But I feel like lately there's more slow drivers in the fast lane than there are in the slow lane. Like I feel like I can weave better on the right than the left.
Like using the shoulder.
Using the shoulder, absolutely using the shoulder. Speaking of shoulders, the modern man's a man who takes care of himself, Phil. Manscaping isn't just for life's special occasions. It's a requirement for optimal health and superior hygiene and healthy self-esteem. You now have the right tools for safe and precise grooming and hard-to-navigate sensitive areas, plus post-trimming products to help keep yourself dry all day long. Manscaped really, did that kind of come in clutch today during church? Should we bring that up? Or that we probably need to bring that up later, right? I should have saved Manscaped for the end.
You should have seen. Yeah, a little bit. We can talk about it. It was. It was.
We
hot.
better wait. We'll
It
wait.
was hot.
We'll wait about the heat. But yeah, dudes,
This
20.
side was against that side. Is
Yeah.
basically what I'm saying.
Dudes 20 for 20% off your whole entire order. Go to manscaped.com. Enter dudes 20. Get 20% off your whole order. You've got some boxers, which would have been really nice.
Sweat
in church
wicking.
today. Yeah, sweat wicking. Some razors for every area, everywhere. So go ahead, go to manscaped.com. Tell them the dudes sent you. Enter promo code dudes20, 20% off their whole entire order. Let's get these consensus rankings here, Phil. You want to start? We can start this off now.
Yeah, no, for sure. So basically, we're doing this consensus ranking, and so essentially, what the deal is that we're going to be going over guys who we feel are not ranked highly enough. We talked about a little bit on ESPN's fantasy rankings. Anything off there, Trent? Do you have anything you want to add there? But essentially, we're just going to kind of go over them, kind of give us our pros, cons, why you think
Half point PPR.
half point PPR, why you think we should have them. I'm just gonna. What I'd like to do is just start with Jordo, and then we'll go Trent and Seth, and we'll just kind of go through those. There was nothing specific that we chose here about like what specific guys you had to take. It was just like free for all. Choose any position.
Like you see a guy and you don't like where they think he's at.
Correct. That could be a quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Heck, it could be a kicker for all that it's worth. You know,
No, there will be no kickers. There will be no kickers.
I'm not
Phil. That
taking
is
a kicker, but given your logic about driving in the slow lane and not getting a ticket, I could easily see you taking a kicker. But I'm actually gonna kick it over to my grilling friend here, the dude who grilled chicken right before here, smoked chicken rather, got a new grill. Jordan, give us your guy here.
So I'm going to go be a homer here and go Calvin Ridley. So on Fantasy Pros, their consensus rankings, he is at 20, which I think is maybe a little bit more, but like the ESPN one, they have him at 26, and they don't have, so ESPN doesn't have half point PPR. He's 26 in their, I think, PPR, full point PPR. But I don't know. Like maybe I'm a little too bullish on Calvin Ridley. I just think I'm assuming that he's going to be in shape, conditioned. I know that they said that Calvin Ridley looked really good in the OTAs. They said you could tell him and Lawrence had been working out together. They've been working out a lot. There was some chemistry there between the two of them.
Sure.
So yeah, I personally think Calvin Ridley is going to be a top 15 receiver. Maybe I think he might push for a wide receiver 1 this year.
I think he could be a top 10. Like I would, I would be as bold to say he'd be top 10.
Yeah. So like, I definitely think like I think he's going to be somewhere between like 8 and 15. Like I know it's somewhat of a range, but
that's really good.
I just think that offense is going to be very good. I think that he's not going to be able to be double covered because of Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, the threat of Travis Etienne out of the backfield. Like I'm just a believer in Trevor Lawrence, and maybe I'm getting my hopes up too much, but I just think Trevor Lawrence is the real deal.
It's gonna be fun to watch the Jaguars.
I think he's a stud, and I think the offense is really good. Yeah. They have a great coach, and so I really like Calvin Ridley. I feel like he's gonna come in. He's trying to prove something. Chip on his shoulder. I think he's in shape. He's been working out quite a bit, and he looked good in what we've seen from him so far. So
you know what my favorite thing is about Calvin Ridley that hasn't been getting talked about? He's still on his rookie contract.
Yeah, no, the Jaguars have a really good deal.
So it's a good deal. So if he goes out there and just, puts up crazy numbers, he's going to get paid. And Lawrence is on a rookie contract also. So there is a possibility they can pay him really good, right?
Yeah, there's a way where it's all based on the way that trade went down. It's like it's all incentive based with what they gave up for him too. Like they gave up nothing for him. So
yeah.
So even if they sign him to a long-term deal, like he is 28, so I mean he's not young anymore, but he's 28 and he has had almost 0 playing miles on his body the last 2 years.
Yep.
So, I mean, let's be honest. Like Calvin Ridley from 3 years ago, with what we all assume is an elite quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, like he would be a top 10 wide receiver being drafted 100%. Yeah. Now I get it. Like there's a leap to say he's going to be that guy.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, even if he's 80% of what he was,
well, even if you get him at what they have him at 9,
they have him at 20 on Fantasy Pros.
I thought they had him at 30
ESPN.
on ESPN.
I think that if you get him,
I think in the standard he's at 30 in the.
If you get him as your second receiver, you're going to be really happy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's the second receiver who has the potential to be better than the receiver you drafted first.
Well, there's a very good chance you could honestly walk out of a draft with Amon-Ra St. Brown, T. Higgins, and Calvin Ridley as your top 3 receivers.
And you could have the best receiving core in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or honestly, there's maybe a world where, depending on what league you're in and if people are scared of Calvin Ridley, where you could get one of those top 3 guys, like a Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, and then maybe on the back end come back with Terry McLaurin, Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
That's 3 really good, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, this is definitely going to be Ridley's team, I think, as the receiver.
Absolutely.
And Zay Jones is going to go on the back burner.
But I think there's that offense is going to throw the ball a ton, and Christian Kirk will be a guy still too.
What did Zay Jones finish last year? He
just had big spike weeks.
Yeah, he was 20 something.
He had some big blow up games where he was just the guy.
Okay.
I'll pull it up.
I actually think he was
Christian and Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk is on the ESPN one. If we're looking at non-PPR, I think Christian Kirk is 32 and Calvin Ridley is 30. They're right next to each other in that setup.
I think Zay Jones is actually a better real life football player for the Jaguars than he was fantasy last year. I think the guy who actually has a drop off in that offense this is not a hot take by any means. I think a lot of people think this would be Evan Ingram. I think
you think him more than Zay.
Yeah, just because I think Zay's numbers weren't crazy. He just had some big.
I see what you're saying.
Evan Ingram had a ton, had a really good year last year, especially touchdowns wise. That's who I could see some of that. 73 passes for 766 yards and 4 touchdowns. It seemed like he had more touchdowns than that.
I think he had a week where he had 3.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. I just think that overall the numbers all come down for everybody, but I think Ridley is the guy there, like you guys said.
Mm-hmm.
We can probably move on here. Trent, I'm still trying to pull him up. I'm not.
He's probably not.
He's pretty far down, is what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
But he did have some really big weeks. He did have some really big weeks. So I'm actually going to move it over. Seth, you want to tell us about your guy a little bit?
Sure. I am going to go. I'm sorry, I lost him here. Am I in the Deandre Swift? Now I'm looking at this. I didn't see this earlier, but for what it's worth, this can all mean nothing, but it's saying it's a bad schedule for DeAndre Swift. I think that takes into effect the teams they're playing and how good their defense is, but also their run defense. If you look at Miles Sanders, if someone has that pulled up, where did Miles Sanders finish last year? I also, for what it's worth, I think Jalen Hertz is still going to run the ball a lot. He's still going to score quite a few touchdowns, but I think he's going to score less touchdowns and also have less yards. And I think that's where DeAndre Swift slots in.
So Miles Sanders ended at 13 last year, I believe.
So I'm seeing him here at 26 on Fantasy Pros. I think he could finish top 20. I think maybe the 15 mark might actually be good for him. Like, I don't know. I really don't see Cam Akers or James Conner finishing higher than him. James Conner is at 23. Like, I think he could have Travis Etienne even at 13. Like, I know he's on Jacksonville, but also I don't know if he has that much better of a season than DeAndre Swift. I think the Eagles offense is obviously better than Jacksonville, but I think it's just way more there.
What worries me about Swift is just the committee approach. Like, I think he might have spike weeks also.
I think so too, because the Eagles do use all of their running backs. But I think Swift is going to be that. I think he's just that special player that Detroit really didn't use him that much. And I know he was hurt.
Last year, Philadelphia, I'm not sure they use as much committee as you think.
I don't think so either. Miles Sanders had a really great year.
So he had 260 attempts for 1,269 yards, 11 touchdowns. So I'd be curious what the Eagles' rush attempts were to running backs last year and what that market share percentage is. Because my guess is it's probably 60, 65, 70%.
I think what I'm thinking is Jalen Hertz just took some rushing touchdowns.
But
for sure.
But Sanders had 11 rushing touchdowns
which is
last year.
like the best he's ever done. And that offensive line's really good.
Well, and think about how many times Jalen Hurts scored touchdowns with the 1 yard little push they did.
Yeah.
I mean, he scored over half of his touchdowns doing that.
And they're saying they're trying to take some rushing touchdowns away from him, right? Or
I mean, he's still. I don't know what Jalen Hurts touchdowns finished last year. I know it was a lot, right? And I think it would have been more, but I think he's still projected around 9 or 10 this year. But that was less than it was last year.
So Miles Sanders
and the Eagles are going to score a ton of touchdowns this year. We all know that.
Miles Sanders had 259 carries. Second was Jalen Hurts, and third was Kenneth Gainwell at 53. So 259 Sanders, 165 Hurts, and 53 Kenneth Gainwell.
So 250 to 59 running backs. So I mean that's a big share more. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's probably safer to say he's going to finish in the top 20, but I think he will finish around the 15 mark. Like, I see him being a similar player to Travis Etienne.
He had about a 50% market share of the rushing attempts, and that's including Jalen Hurts. Yep. So you take out Jalen Hurts, I mean, his market share with running back. So to your point, though, is I think if Swift gets those numbers, I
think he's going to finish around Travis Etienne. And if what they're saying is Etienne's going to finish around 13, I think the 15 to 20 range is right instead of 26.
Yeah, for the record, I thought about having Swift as one of my guys too. Yeah. So
I think that was the easier one than my other one. I think the other one's going to be more of a stretch, but we'll get there when we get there.
So this is actually kind of a big deal to me, Seth, because you had Swift last year in a lot of fantasy football leagues. He kind of burned you too.
Well, I mean, he was hurt, right? And then when he came back and Jamal Williams just having that almost stupid touchdown. Share, Swift wasn't getting the ball as soon as they got in the 20-yard line.
It's pretty crazy if you actually look at some of those. How many times did St. Brown catch the ball and run all the way to the one and get tackled? It's actually kind of insane the luck.
And I had St. Brown too, and that actually pissed me off because then at the end of the year they would throw to the tight ends after St. Brown would get tackled on the 3.
Jamal Williams ran so good last year. It's insane.
Well, Jamal Williams, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, but
especially when Swift came back. I'm not saying ran good he physically just metaphorically ran really good to do those touchdown numbers are crazy. That guy cannot not have a touchdown for the next 3 years, and that's the regression coming back to the mean with that guy.
Yeah. Anything else there? Can we move to Trent?
And he may not score a touchdown all year this year. It wouldn't.
What do you? Yeah, wouldn't shock you.
Wouldn't shock
but
me.
I feel like the Saints. I feel like that's a pretty good spot for him to still kind of be that red zone back.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, this is kind of an interesting one, right?
The Saints offense, the Saints team as a whole is going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. You want to transition over to me, Phil?
Yeah, I was going to transition to you, and I think this one. Yeah, go ahead, Trent.
Trying to find my notes, see which one I got here. Yeah, I have Amari Cooper as my guy right here. And I know you hate this, Jordan, but you know what he finished as last year?
What?
10. He had his best fantasy season ever, Amari Cooper.
No, I can see that.
So I think in a lot of places
I
where
still
he's
think it's too high, but anyways,
a lot
keep
of
going,
places
Trent.
like have him ranked right now. He's at 18. I think this is another guy you could maybe get in the third round. Like if you wanted to go in the first round and maybe get like CD Lamb. I think you could get.
Cowboys here.
Well, I'm thinking you could get Cooper and Ridley on the same team. Is what I'm saying, Jordan. I think that's pretty good.
I just don't
and
know.
that's as a 2 and 3 wide receiver, not your one without your one. Like I don't know what you could get. Travis Kelce. Man, I don't know who you get in the second round when you do something like that, but I think you could get Ridley and Amari Cooper on the same team as
So what do you think he will be? Like if you're saying there, you think he'll be another top 10?
I think he'll be another top 10 because I think Watson has to be better. Like Watson wasn't good last year, and Amari Cooper finished number 10.
Okay, so they did bring in Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
Well,
And they drafted Cedric Tillman, so who are guys that I think will. And they still Donovan Peoples-Jones and Njoku at tight end. So you're just not.
I just think he's going to keep. He has another. How old is he? Let me look right here.
He's 29.
He's 29. I think he still has a little bit of a tread on the
So who
tires
do
where
you
he can get top 10. Good. Where you draft Amari Cooper, I think you'll be very happy where you get him.
Okay. Calvin Ridley or Amari Cooper, who finishes higher?
I think Calvin Ridley finishes higher.
Okay. And Calvin Ridley's being
Yeah.
significant. Like, okay.
Yeah. So I think he finishes. Yeah, Calvin Ridley finishes higher, but I think Amari. What I'm saying is, I think you get Calvin Ridley and Amari Cooper. Like if you went, if you went like Travis Kelce, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, I think you'd be happy with that in a draft. It's your first 3 picks. But what I'm saying is, I think
I don't think you're going to take Calvin Ridley in the second round.
Yeah, I think Calvin's your third. So you could get I like those two guys as a third and fourth round pick, and I think that's possible right
like
now.
if you go running backs in the first 2.
You could get like who'd you say?
like Travis
Travis
Kelce.
You could get like a Travis Kelce, maybe like
You could maybe go Kelce Mahomes stack, then get Ridley and Cooper.
or like a Kelce. Think Nick Chubb? You think you can get Kelce and Nick Chubb back-to-back rounds?
I think you could, and Nick Chubb's never not finished
yeah.
top 10.
Or like a Kelce, Tony Pollard, Ridley, Cooper.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you could get Cooper, and if Cooper's not your number one receiver, I think you'll be really happy, but I still think he's going to be a wide receiver 1 this season. Like, 29's not that old. Wide receivers still take a while to fall off.
I'm not going to believe in Deshaun Watson until I see
I don't
him.
think so either. Was Cooper's numbers better after Watson, or were they better with Jacoby Brissett? Do we know? I think that's a good split to actually look at.
I don't think that's enough to well, okay, so
Discount
here's his top.
And I know
2022
Watson hadn't played in a while, but
2022 he finishes wide receiver 5 in week 3. He finishes wide receiver 2 in week 11 and wide receiver 3 in week 17.
okay.
So yeah, they definitely were like spike weeks. It's feast or famine.
I'll tell you. I can tell you. So wait, how many spikes weeks did he have with?
He had 3. He only had 1 with Jacoby. Or when did Watson come in?
9,
he played
10.
He played 4 games.
Okay, so he only played 4 games.
Yeah,
So he
Watson
started in
played 4
Houston
games.
in week 13 is when he started, I believe, right?
Okay, so he had 2 with Jacoby and he had 1 with Watson. So he finished second, week 11, and third, week 17.
So week 13, he only went over 100 yards once and only had.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I see over 100 yards in week 3.
No, with Deshaun
yes,
Watson,
yeah.
he only had over 100 yards once and only had more than 4 catches once. Where as opposed to that, his numbers were a lot better pre Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
But Deshaun
It's a
Watson
small sample.
Deshaun Watson was bad.
Also, a small sample size. We're talking about 4 games.
I think
Sure,
a full,
but
I think a
like-
full off season together.
yeah, I
mean,
think it's a
I
little
think
bit.
what Jordan's saying is, he wants to be proven wrong
And his targets,
to believe in Amari
yeah,
Cooper
like his
again.
targets weren't there. He only had 1 double-digit target game.
Yeah.
With Deshaun Watson, he had 6 double-digit target games without Deshaun Watson.
And that's why I'm thinking you'll be able to get him where I'm saying I
Yeah.
think you can get him.
You just have to believe in Deshaun Watson to believe in Amari Cooper.
Well, what I'm saying is like a top 10 finished wide receiver you probably need to take in the second round. I'm thinking of the potential here to get him like 4th or 5th, right?
Yeah.
So That's kind of, and like what you're saying is I think a lot of people don't believe in Deshaun Watson. And that's why I'm saying I think you could get where you're getting Cooper. I don't think you'll be mad, but like last year, maybe where you got Cooper or 2 years ago, maybe you were upset.
I'm saying the only way you can make the argument though is you believe in Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's harder. Like the Calvin Ridley thing is I think most people believe in Trevor Lawrence now.
Yeah.
Where the Deshaun Watson thing is, it's hard for me to agree with you because I don't believe in Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Like I don't necessarily disagree with you at Amari Cooper in itself. I thought the season he put together last year was really impressive.
Yeah, I still think that we got to give Deshaun Watson one more year. It wasn't like I know it was a while ago he was playing really good, but he was playing really good, before everything happened. So even Deshaun Watson's like if you can get that guy as like your number 2 quarterback, like in a super flex or something, you might be able to get him like a super flex late.
I think he's going higher than what you think.
Really?
Oh yeah.
He on PFF right now. Deshaun Watson is the quarterback. He's going 118 overall.
I mean, Trent, ESPN has him as QB8. Fantasy Pros has him as QB10. You're not like he's going to be drafted in every single redraft.
He's
as a QB1.
14 in PFF right now, which is maybe a little bit better.
But I just don't know if that's like the ESPN ones I like because most casual guys play where ESPN or like the Yahoo or like. So like these are a little bit more like just I don't know. ESPN's what most people look at. Fantasy Pros, when you Google fantasy football, Fantasy Pros comes up. Like they're gonna look at these rankings to pick, and Deshaun Watson's at 10.
It's wild that he's at 10, don't you think?
I think it's crazy.
Yeah,
I was doing my quarterback rankings this past week. It's really hard. Like just once
we'll talk about
once
the
you get
QB
10,
rankings once we get to QB rankings.
Do we want to go? We wanted to go into our number 2, right? We said we're going to do 2 each.
Yeah, 2 each.
So 2 each. Why don't we go backwards? Why don't we go, Trent? You want to start this? You want to go on the
sure?
Flip it around here.
Yeah,
Flip the order.
Yeah.
It looks like that bothers you a little bit.
It kind of bothers me. But
you
kind of bother me in general, so I shouldn't be shocked at all about this. So
bothers you what you see in the mirror too, and I didn't say anything about that. All right, let's. Do you want me to start at the beginning, or what do you want me to do here?
No, while we're here, I just thought we should maybe talk about Underdog Sports. Underdog's the dude's favorite place.
That's what I was going to do, but I was like, I was trying to game plan a little bit what you wanted to do here. So if we're going to be talking about Underdog is the easiest way to play fantasy sports, Trent. Did you know that?
I recently found that out.
Yeah, so Underdog is the best, easiest way to play fantasy sports. Draft your team and forget about it. No setting lineups or trades. It's the dude's favorite place to play best ball and all kinds of other DFS games. Enter dudes and they will match you up to $100. They also came out with, should we talk about it here? Some new little...
The new format I think is really neat.
Jordy, you want to jump into that a little bit?
Yeah, so it's like, it's best ball. It's 100% best ball.
Yep.
But they have, and it's the big, I think it's $15 to enter. The prize pool is crazy. I'm curious how many entries in total will be in the tournament. No, it's 150 max, $15 a pop. But it's best ball 100%, but they have the payouts. They pay out every week.
Yeah.
So it's like you have the same team for all 17 weeks, but it's more DFS-like in the fact that you get paid per week. Per week.
The more you're talking about that, the more I like it.
Yeah, because you don't have to wait until the end of the season to see if you're going to make any money,
which is annoying about best ball sometimes.
Sometimes if you don't want to have the money sit there forever. But the cool thing is that you can just have like 2 really good weeks and make your money back.
Do they have that for baseball right now, Seth?
No, this is a brand new.
They're going to start at like halfway.
I doubt they'll do it for baseball. It's brand new format. I don't think I've seen it anywhere else.
It'll be interesting to see what it looks like for baseball long.
We'll see if they.
I thought maybe I saw something, but I could be wrong.
I don't think in this. It's hard because the weekly payout for NFL makes this really
lucrative, exciting, fun.
Yeah, it makes it very appealing.
Play 2 series in a week,
or it's every day.
It's tough. It makes it tougher.
So I think the min cash per se, like the minimum amount of money you can make in a week is $10. Not obviously you can make zero money, but if you were to get a certain, like the lowest cash point was $10. So even if you were to hit there 2 times, you made $5 on your entry over the course of the season. So
are they going to have it for college football? That I did not look at.
I don't think Underdog supports college football for best ball.
Yep.
Yeah, they may. As of right now, we don't.
And I've been saving my time
Trent-
and efforts for the NFL season, so I haven't been.
Yeah. So
Trent, do you know when this gets released?
I
Did
probably,
we
if I
get-
looked at my email, I probably could figure it out. But you enter promo code DUDES, and they will match you up to $100. So
You could do
really helps us out if you guys do that.
how many entries with $200? Quick math here. 13. You could get 13 entries.
13, my lucky number. But yeah, also what else helps us out, guys, is remember, don't be rude. Share the dudes. If you
Share 'em.
enjoy us whispering in your ears, maybe someone else will enjoy us whispering in their ears also. So if you have a friend, share us with that friend.
If we're your only friends, leave us a review.
Yeah, leave us a review, and tweet at us, whatever. It's been a fun week on Twitter, actually.
Go make some friends. Like, you need to make some friends if we're your only friend.
There's a lot of people that wish we were there, more than what we are right now. You know what I mean? More
Yeah,
than
they
just,
wish that we'd come through the radio and just be like sitting next to him having a
there's
chat.
people listening to us in their truck. And they're like, man, I wish Phil was right next to me talking to me.
I would say
and
that's
I think
very
it's a little,
unlikely.
I think that's overrated, or probably. It's not as good
80%
as you
of
think.
our
It's not
listeners.
as good as what you think, is what I would say. like I'm doing it right now. You can see us on YouTube at TFF Dudes. Go check that out. Also follow us on Instagram and Twitter if only are able to view 400 tweets right now. Let's be 300
Oh my
of
goodness!
those every day.
Seth, did you even respond to that message
I
thread?
saw it. I mean, I think it's kind of ridiculous, but also like I maybe kind of get what they're doing.
I'm kind of game for it, but these guys were.
I've gone back and forth.
These guys between the hours of 10 a.m. and 10 a.m. sent about
it does say temporary,
300
but
texts.
also like who knows?
Okay.
They might.
So
say-
were you following that text thread though?
I read it, yeah.
There was a lot to read, man. It was a dissertation from two guys.
I'm
who
honestly surprised you could read that much, Phil.
Wouldn't take advice to order Taco
The
Bell
most Phil's
from.
written.
Speaking of Taco Bell, though, I was on the phone with Trent,
While
and he
I
was
ordered
ordering
Taco
Taco Bell, and mid order, they I don't know if it was like dual car deals. The ordering person switched headphones, and so Trent's ordering with a guy, right?
Yeah,
and he
and then-
gives his order. And then a girl switched backs and says, "Okay, is this what you want?" And Trent was like so thrown off, so he had to redo his order. It
Yeah,
was kind of embarrassing.
that's
Cool story,
sort of
Phil.
true. Sort of true. But
Hey,
yeah,
I don't know if you remember, we talked about Taco Bell last week, Jordan.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to get my.
Okay,
It was more than a
all
week
right.
ago. It was like 2 weeks
All right,
ago.
all right.
And
let's
actually, I don't know if we're gonna have a draft this week. Depends if I am able to. Seth, I'm gonna mute you for a second.
Yeah, sorry, that thing just.
All right. So if you can adjust that mic, then I'll get you going again here. All right. Yeah. And so we will not have a draft this week, unfortunately. I might do an old one just because it's a short week, and with the holiday and everything, I might do a short
4th of July.
Maybe do an old draft, for the pod. Maybe not on YouTube, just so people, a little throwback.
Totally
maybe for
fine,
new
totally
listeners.
acceptable.
But yeah.
So do you want to go into yours, Trent?
Yeah, I am going to go with, I'm kicking around with who I really want here. That's why I was kind of bummed you just put me on the spot like this. I'm going to go with Najee Harris. I really like Najee Harris. He's still young, still in that rookie contract. I know that they're talking about Jalen Williams, maybe getting some snaps from him and stuff. I know Le'Veon Bell called him out on social media saying the guy needs to lose weight, get a little lighter. He bulked up a little bit last year. Maybe he can get a little bit more lean. They have the returning quarterback coming back this year, returning offensive coordinator, head coach. I think this is a really good spot for Najee Harris to get back to that self of where he was at. He was getting drafted way too high last year.
Yeah.
And now he's running back 15 to ESPN. And I think this is another guy that could be top 8 finish at running back. And when I look at these running backs, Jordan, while I'm doing my rankings, something I've really been looking at is age. What age do you think when the wheels fall off on running backs? Is it 27 now?
Yeah, I think that also is very
Eckler's 28.
workload dependent too, though.
Yeah. Eckler's 28. He's had some big workloads. CMC's 27. Derrick Henry's 28, and he's had a real big workload, right? Najee is...
He's got to be
I can't remember how
25,
old
right?
he
He's
is.
25.
He's 25,
Yeah.
so I still think he's at that good spot right there where he's
He's at a
working
prime
for that
age.
contract that I really like Najee, and I think the offensive line, they got a new left tackle, they got Broderick. I think that Najee's going to have a very good bounce back year, and I like where you can get him.
Where do you think he lands, Trent?
You think he's a third? Where right here?
Where do you think
where
he finishes?
End of year,
I
Trent.
think he can finish top 8. That
Did
would
you
surprise
said top
me.
8, actually.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
you
he
did.
finished top 8.
Okay.
Yes.
What about you, Jordan? Do you have any thoughts on Najee Harris there?
Just not like the team enough, or
No, I actually, I don't want to give too many spoilers, going forward, but I'm high on the Steelers. Let's just say
Yeah.
that.
No, I think,
I don't want
I
to
think
give
Kenny
too
Pickett's
much.
going to be a lot better
Well,
this year.
I kind of think that's going to be a hot take I have going into our quarterback ranking. So I don't want to get too much into that.
Okay.
So, but you like the Najee. You like the Najee. He's ranked too low right now.
The only concern I have with Najee is Jalen Warren is good.
He's good.
And so that's the only worry I have with Najee is that the workload, what made him so good his rookie year was
the
that he
dump,
got like
yeah.
98% of snaps.
Absolutely.
And
he got a ton of dump passes. Too.
yes. And I can't, off the top of my head, I do not know the snap percentage for Najee last year. I know it was less. I think he was in the 70 range.
Who was even his backup his rookie year?
He had no backup. It was Benny Snell or something.
Snell. Yeah, no, it was Snell. You're right. It
That
was
tattoo, Snell, yeah.
But my fear,
Did it really?
my fear, Trent, with the Najee Harris thing is that Jalen Warren is up in the 40% snaps this year, and he's that passing down back.
Yeah, so the passes might not be there.
And Jalen Warren's good, and I know there's been a lot of talk this offseason about how they can't afford to keep him off the field. So, shoot, Jalen Warren, where is he being drafted at? That might be someone that I'm very interested in.
I'm looking here on
So
Fantasy
the
Pros.
backup I kind of like. My backup.
He's out down to 49. If you draft Najee
Yep.
Harris, I think I'd want Jalen Warren on my team.
The backup that I like Elijah Mitchell, I think needs to be getting drafted. Probably. I don't know where you would get him, but like just CMC, like CMC owners, you got to get Elijah Mitchell. You have to.
Did you see CMC playing the piano at a Zach Bryan concert? Did you guys see
I
that?
didn't see that.
Yeah, so Zach Bryan's a very popular, we'll call him a country artist, and he's super popular. And he's playing one of his songs, and he's like, "I got my buddy Christian McCaffrey up here," and then Christian McCaffrey starts slapping the keys, and he played it like on beat. Everything was really good. Everyone's just going nuts. It was awesome. So
I have to look that up. What about the guy, the Philadelphia Eagles offensive lineman that sang at his wedding? Isn't she beautiful? See that? I sent that to you, Phil. Thanks for.
Was while I was up at the Hume Lake? I didn't have any service.
It was today. I can't remember.
Oh,
what
I
the
haven't
guy's name
downloaded
is.
Instagram. I think I have. Doesn't Instagram?
You did not just say that on air.
Doesn't Instagram have the
Did you
thing?
hit your pick limit?
I
Is
think
that
I
a new
looked at
thing?
my limit on Instagram. I think I hit my.
Okay. All right.
And it deletes the app for you.
Seth,
Phil,
you deleted all of Twitter.
That is true.
That's fine. Yeah, but at least I don't like re-download it and act like
that is
No,
true.
so
He
if you
doesn't
ever
read
re-download it, will you say the exact same?
But the difference is, Phil, is that you deleted your account or just to Twitter?
I'm not sure. I might have deleted my account.
Get a fantasy football Twitter.
You have to
Seth,
delete
just
your
like
account
us.
for it to actually be deleted. Like you just deleted the app
so,
and re-download.
so we're in
it.
the same situation.
No, if he deleted his
Close.
account,
Yeah,
that's
we're
different.
close.
This is
it's
equal.
exact.
This is
If
equal
he
to your
gets
major
back on
pains
it,
being a patriotic
it
movie
is.
take.
The guy.
You might as well just put like a time limit on your app and just listen to it.
I could have said the same thing to you about Twitter.
That's true, but I don't re-download it. There's the difference.
You will be re-downloading it. Let's put a bet, Seth. Before 2024,
I want Seth back on Twitter.
This won't
Don't
be
make
hard.
this bet.
This won't be hard.
So will
Please
you make
do a
bet
lot of
between
money.
20? No, I'm not betting any money. You know me.
What kind of bet do you
low.
think he's going to do? This is not worth doing. This is
Seth will
taking too
have.
much time.
Seth, this is a gentleman's bet. You've probably never been in one of those because you're not a gentleman. Before 2024, you will not be. You will be back on Twitter.
What do I do if I lose?
That's it. That's the thing. Egg bet. Fine. Egg bet. Before 2024,
Listen,
you'll
egg
be
bets
back.
have become irrelevant
I want
in this
Seth
pod.
back on Twitter.
We don't pay our egg bets, so they don't matter anymore.
Yeah, we need to do an
It
egg bet
started
video
with you,
before we
Jordan.
make
All
another
right,
one.
let's just move on. It's Jordan, you're up. Or Seth, do you want to go in his? Actually, no. We are going with you, Seth. We were going backwards.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I have Jared Goff.
That's not backwards.
Yes,
Yes,
it
it
is,
is.
Trent.
So he went for whatever.
No, he went in the middle.
I went first, then Seth went, then you.
Okay.
Then you. I know you're a fantasy football podcast, but you know how snake trap works, Trent.
Yeah.
We hardly ever do snake draft in here, so it's like, yeah, it's
I know.
okay.
I know life's hard.
If you change up
Wouldn't
slightly
a snake draft
anything,
be?
look at Seth.
Wouldn't a snake draft be like this back to
No,
you?
I started, then Seth went, then you. So then it
Okay,
goes
all right.
you.
I thought. Never mind.
Okay.
Life's hard.
Turn all around, you get the best of both worlds.
Okay. On Fantasy Pros, Jared Goff is listed at 16. I think he's going to finish top 10. They're saying Deshaun Watson is at 10. I don't believe in Deshaun Watson. I saw what Jared Goff did last year, and I think he's going to finish at 10. Right at 10. I think that offense is good. I think
ESPN has Jared Goff at 21.
Yeah,
what it's worth.
and I think fantasy pros are higher on Detroit in general, and maybe the consensus more is on ESPN, whereas fantasy pros is maybe a little more independent.
He has tons of weapons.
An insane amount of weapons.
As long as those guys
They're
can
talking
quit
about having
gambling.
Jahmyr Gibbs play in the slot. I think they're
Yeah.
gonna. I mean, the only time I think they're gonna really run the ball is in some weird like first or second down situations. Maybe like for like second and short, maybe something like that. But anyways, they might run the ball in the red zone where it's closer. But I mean, the amount of times that they were throwing the ball at the end of the year in the red zone to the tight ends was crazy. Jared Goff was putting up a ton of touchdowns late in the season.
No, I
And
like it.
And I think they're gonna. I don't think David Montgomery is gonna have the same season Jamal Williams had.
No, I don't think so.
And he finished 10th last year.
Jamal Williams.
Jared Goff.
Yeah, he finished at 10 last year. So I think
maybe
he's.
said
I
that,
think he's
sorry.
gonna be right there again. I don't think. I mean, I don't even know if Dak Prescott's gonna have a better season than.
So you're thinking he's
Jared
going to have
Goff.
like a Geno Smith type year like Geno had this year.
Well, Geno finished five.
Fifth. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. If all the good quarterbacks we think stay healthy, I think 1 through 8 is pretty lock to me. So I think he finishes the 8, 9, 10 range. I mean, I even think I don't know. It's hard to say he'll be better than Tua, but I think he's going to be bright at 10.
Okay.
I almost put Tua on this list, but I just don't know with
Tua makes me nervous.
What
a
did
little bit.
Goff?
nervous too.
What did Goff finish at last year?
10. I thought
10,
that's
10.
what you said.
Yeah, it is
Finished
what I said.
at 10.
He finished at 10.
And I think he can even have maybe slightly a better season. I think it's easily repeatable though. All of his weapons are back.
What he did last year essentially is what he did in 18 and 19 with the Rams.
And the
That's-
Rams ran the ball way more in 18-19.
Yeah, but that's essentially what I'm just looking at his numbers.
Yeah.
It's very on par with what he put up in those years, with way less interceptions though.
Yes.
So
Phil,
you guys
yeah,
whispering
Phil
over there.
Phil just found out that our Google Docs sheet has last year's finish, and he's been searching all these. the
I've been
whole
looking
time.
at stats in Sleeper.
That's fine.
Yeah. So no, I like Goff. I'm bummed that is Jameson Williams? Is that his name, or is it Jameson Williamson?
Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams. I'm bummed he's missing those games. Jamar Gibbs. He's another guy that I thought.
Yeah.
maybe-
Jameer Gibbs.
Jameer Gibbs.
Jameer
Phil
Gibbs.
didn't know that.
They said, I mean, the earlier news is he was
You're
going to
the
be
one who
playing.
admit-
He's going to
Jordan
be playing a ton, and he's going to be catching. He's going to be playing out of the slot. I think
Yeah,
there'll be
no,
quite.
I-
There's going to be a lot of times where they're running 4 receivers, and Jameer Gibbs is going to be catching the ball, not running either.
No, and Amon is getting drafted really early too.
I think. I mean,
He
that's
wouldn't
another
be-
guy I thought about too. Amon can finish top 5 this year.
His ADP is up though because if Jameson Williams hadn't got suspended, I think his ADP would be lower.
I think so.
And I absolutely love the Lions' schedule for next year.
I'm
For really
surprised
all
Phil.
those
I'm
guys.
surprised Phil didn't go crazier over this because Phil is like secretly a Lions.
No,
fan.
I'm all in on Seth. I'm all.
I
in
would
on this
love
one.
to see the Lions be really good this
They
year.
were talking about the Lions might be on Hard Knocks again. Has that been announced?
It's because other people don't want to do it, but I'm totally in on it.
yeah, no, they need to. They should.
Well, really, teams don't want to do hard knocks.
I think
It's just a
there's-
distraction.
It's a
and-
distraction.
I'm sure.
There was some other things too that I think that they were being forced to do. It's like, I don't know. Yeah.
That makes
just
sense.
one more thing. Yeah. All right. Trent, were you going to say something? You have
No,
an ad read
no.
you wanted to hit here? Can I go
I
to
think
Jordan?
I think we did all our ad reads.
I think we did. Jordan, you want to tell us about your guy? Or Seth, was there anything else you want to say about?
No, I just think wherever, I mean, even from Jordan saying they're at 21 on ESPN, like that just seemed, 11 spots of where I think it's just ridiculous. Like I think he does better than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
I mean, even Anthony Richardson being put 1 spot behind Jared Goff, I think is just dumb.
Yeah. Jordy.
So
Light.
I have Javonte Williams, running back, Broncos. So this is a guy who had a ton of hype coming into last year, right? I don't know if you guys remember. He was
I remember.
being drafted as a top 10 running back, an RB1. So on Fantasy Pros, they have him as RB28, and on ESPN in their PPR, I didn't see what their non-PPR is. In their PPR, he is running back RB29. So they're very on par with each other. I think Javonte Williams is a top 20 running back this year. And honestly, I don't know. Are you guys Samaje Perine believers?
No.
I kind of like Pirine. Isn't it? Is it Perine or is it Pirine?
Yes, I think it is P.
I think I should
Pirine.
correct
Yeah,
it.
Pirine.
And I hate it when people can't pronounce names.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair.
I'm
I just
just
corrected
kidding.
you. It's fair. Samaje Perine. I don't know why I said it like that. Anyways, you guys are believers. I see. I'm just. I don't know. I would imagine. Do we know what they paid him? It's kind of a weird question. I should know that. I should have.
Pirine had a crazy game last year when he had that 4 TD game, right? Was it
Yeah, I was just curious. I'm curious what they paid him. It's just kind of so what their investment is in him monetarily wise. But Javonte, I just think this is a guy who had a ton of hype last year. I think he's extremely talented.
So I have it for you.
What would they pay him?
I believe it's a 2-year, $1.3 million contract.
So nothing.
That's
so
nothing. Yeah.
Is that right?
Give me a second here.
So Javonte, a guy basically a ton of hype last year. There is no Melvin Gordon, which was the main concern going into last year. This is a guy. It's him and Pirine, and I think they're going to use him. And yes, his numbers weren't great last year before he got hurt, but he never. 75 yards, 58 yards, 43 yards rushing. He had a huge receiving game to start in week 1. 0 touchdowns in 4 games. But it's a guy who I think will do well. I think a lot of people think that offense is going to be better. If the passing game is better, that should open up more opportunity for Javonte. If you think that the Broncos are a top 15 offense in the NFL this year, I don't see how Javonte is not a top 20 running back. Did you get those numbers, Phil?
Yeah, I'm still trying to look for it. It looks like it was 1.5. That's what I'm finding.
That's like zero investment for them, really. So they don't have
banking
I'm
on
still trying to
Javonte
find
being
it here.
around for a while.
for future reference. Spot Track is what you can use for contracts.
Okay, what is that again?
Yeah, he will definitely not remember that.
Tell it to me. Spot track.
Spot Track, SPOTRAC is what I use for all the current contracts. So he is on. They signed him a base salary of $1.5 million for this year. He got the signing bonus of 1 point. So it's a $3 million contract. So
Yeah.
it's
still not very much.
It's 2 years, 7.5 is what they over the 2 year period. So it's not a huge investment. Like,
Yep.
All of our listeners already Googled that on their phone and figured it out
Yeah.
before.
oh yeah, 100%.
I'm just kidding.
Probably.
I'm sorry.
I didn't realize it was going to take Phil.
I was
5 minutes
actually
to
on
figure it
Spot
out.
Track, but I was like, I was double checking my work, like I always do.
His
just to
fingers
make
got
sure.
twisted.
Yeah, anyway, so I think Javonte is a top 20 running back. You guys agree with that, disagree with that? What's your guys' thoughts on that?
I think that's fine.
I think top 20, yeah. I do think they're going to use Pirine more than you think, just as like it's not going to be like Jalen Williamson.
So I think
just as
they
like a
could-
pass catching type
I think
guy.
they could use him early in the season, but I think as he gets healthier, as he gets going, I could see him being like
He's a
having
freak.
a really good like second half of the season.
Yeah. No, he's a freak. So, anything else, Phil?
No, I think that's it. I'm putting down these things here. I think I may have. I just wanted to recap these here quickly. Trent, I think I may have missed yours here, but on the because I was lining up some other things. So in the first guys that we went over, Jordan took Calvin Ridley, Seth took Deandre Swift, and Trent took Amari Cooper. In the second round, or in the second thing that we talked about, Jordan took Javonte Williams, Trent took Najee Harris, and Seth took Jared Goff. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
Did I get that right, boys? All right, cool. So those are the guys we feel like are a little bit underrated right now, or ranking pretty low, that we feel like should be a little bit higher. Personally, like you said, Trent, I'm all in on Seth's Jared Goff pick. Like, he ended 10. I feel like the disrespect is there at 20. I definitely think he ends up much higher. We want to go into divas.
Let's go to divas. Phil, Seth, you said you had a lot to talk about on this pod. Have you
Well,
covered
I
everything
think
you
we
want to talk
part of
about?
it, like the wedding. So I did a lot of driving because the wedding was in San Diego.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I drove instead of leaving, which was Sunday night when we were originally going to do it, but then you guys bumped it up to your recording was on Friday, right? Thursday. And so I had left Thursday night to go down there. And so anyways, I hate traffic. I hate driving for longer than 3 hours. But my diva is people merging onto the freeway, not speeding up to the speed limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that happened to me the other, like a couple days ago. I was driving with my kids back from a dinner, and this person, keep in mind, this freeway is 70 miles per hour. This person merges at 35. There is absolutely nobody on the freeway. And they go down the thing, they're going on the on-ramp, coming on, and they're slowing down and like looking over their shoulder. I'm like, you have a rear view mirror.
Yeah.
Like on your side mirror. Look on your
And
side mirror.
likely, like when they flick their blinkers on in most vehicles now.
They didn't even use their blinker.
Oh, geez.
They literally were going into the slow lane at 35, and I'm riding this person's tail because I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you are going to kill both of us.
Yeah.
Seth, you know how to solve this problem though?
What?
You don't drive in the right lane.
No,
No,
an
they're
on
merging.
ramp.
He has to.
It's an on ramp. I'm stuck behind them. I can't go
you
around
were
them.
on the on ramp. I thought you were in the right lane.
Merging
The guy was
onto the
merging.
freeway. That's what I'm
So
saying.
you were also going on to the freeway.
Was I saying this
No,
wrong?
you weren't.
Okay.
No, you weren't. I understood completely what you were saying.
I thought you were the
Jordan
driver.
heard one little part how he could solve this problem, and he quit listening.
Yeah. He zoned out. He was
I
looking
thought
up.
that you meant that you were driving and people were emerging.
No,
slow.
I
He was looking
I
up
wasn't
Trevor
being
Lawrence
mean.
hair
Got you.
products.
No,
Gotcha.
it was just like I just don't understand. And this person, it just makes me mad because it's like no one taught you to merge onto the freeway slower than the semis are going. You should at least be going 55 so you can at least go in front of the semi or go behind him. If you need to brake and it's heavy traffic to get behind the flow of traffic, you need to brake, that's fine. But when everyone else is driving 70 plus, especially even in the slow lane, you are going to kill me.
Yeah.
Not you, because they're gonna rear end me and then I'm gonna hit you. Anyways, it was the most mad I've been in a while. Like I drove the same speed as the person, just looked at him. The lady looked over me like, what did I do? And I'm like, you're an idiot. That's what you are. Anyways, if you merge onto the freeway slower than the speed of traffic, you're an idiot. Anyways, that's my diva.
I feel like that's a fair point. I don't know if I would have said something like that to someone else in another vehicle, but I understand.
I just hope these aren't our listeners.
Oh, I hope you're listening. I hope that person's listening to me.
Did you know who they were?
No, I didn't. And it honestly, the person, it just made me so mad because it's like, who slows down? It doesn't make any sense.
Logically, it's that person is probably related to the person who wasn't using the turnoff while driving up to the lake.
Exactly. It's the same kind of people.
Yeah.
This country it's just we give out too many driver's license, I think.
Amen.
Hey, honestly, I'm not
they
opposed
should-
to
listen,
making
you
it more
take your
difficult.
driver's test once, unless you have to go to driver's school, right? And then you take it once when you are elderly, and frankly, probably a lot of elderly people shouldn't be driving either, but they haven't taken their test yet. I think you should have to take another test when you are 40, because there are plenty of 40-year-olds who cannot stinking drive. And this person might have been 40. I don't know. They might have been 30. Anyways, shouldn't be driving. They're going to kill someone.
I'll tell you something, Seth. If you want this problem solved, let's just not put it in the DMV's hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to make it better. Like,
the DMV, unacceptable.
they're part of the
place, too.
problem. They're part of the problem.
It's true.
So,
It's not a right to drive, by the way. It is a privilege.
Amen,
it is a
amen.
privilege.
And there are too many people thinking they can drive when they absolutely cannot.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I'm sitting next to one.
Jordan, you got one? You got anything, Jordan?
Yeah, no, I was pretty fired up about this early in the week.
I thought you were going to say earlier in today.
Huh?
I thought you were going to bring up church.
No,
Okay, that was
that's
okay.
not that big of a deal. No, because I think it's gone around on Twitter a lot. Pre rate limit Twitter. With LSU kind of winning the baseball World Series, and how much they benefited from NIL and transfers. And I saw a lot of stuff going around. People were like saying that NIL transfer portal has ruined college sports, and I just think that you are an absolute diva if you think that. Like, who cares? Like, who cares if kids are allowed to switch schools because they want to? I don't know. Like, we're 4th of July. Like, this country's founded on what? Capitalism. Like, who are we to tell someone they can't go get the bag at a different school? Like,
Or if the school is like a winning school and they know it's going to be winning, and someone's like, hey, come play here. We have a good program. And also, we'll give you X amount of money.
Yeah, like,
it's like, of course I'm going to do that.
like who why does that bother you so much that someone wants to transfer schools? And it's not ruining college sports. If anything, it's making college sports better. Like, I know for basketball, it's 100% true because more guys are staying in school longer because they're able to make money while they're in college. And you're getting more 4-year guys who are staying, and you're getting better basketball players in the NCAA tournament, better quality of basketball because they're
Not leaving
older
after their
guys.
freshman
They're not
year.
leaving. Football, you're going to get football guys to stay for their 4th year instead of going to the draft and going undrafted. Baseball, you'll get the guys who will stay a 4th year because they're going to make more money in college at LSU than they will be in the rookie A-ball minors. Like, it's making college sports better because better players are staying in college.
It's even better for baseball because there are less full ride scholarships.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Football is a little different because a lot
better
of
for
those
the
guys
smaller
are
sports.
it's better for the smaller sports, especially baseball, because most of those guys are paying for their school.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who believe NIL has ruined college sports. And I just think you're a diva for that because, like I said, one, who am I to tell someone they can't go make money?
Sure.
Like, if the college is making money on you, you should be able to make money.
Yeah.
And I get that NIL is kind of turned into more free agency, but it is what it is. Like, you want to leave your job. If a podcast is going to give me more money than Trent gives me, I'm leaving, you know?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be hard to do.
Wouldn't be hard to do. You're right.
No, it's
Jordan's DMs are
I
immediately
I
flooded.
agree with you, Jordan. But what I don't like is it just makes it more professionalism. Like it's not the amateurism like what we grown up, what college sports is supposed
But it's
to be.
never. But you're
but it's
kidding
always.
yourself.
They've always been getting paid.
That or people have always been making money off people.
Yeah.
Like the schools, coaches are making tons of money off these
Yeah.
kids. The colleges are like the reality is that guys like say Johnny Manziel, who was an absolute superstar in college,
Who was
and
making money?
but could have made way more money in
Yeah.
today's world.
Yeah.
And reality didn't make that much money in the NFL, but this college made. Do you know how much money Texas A&M made off Johnny Manziel?
Oh, yeah, they made a
for
ton.
sure.
They made a ton.
Like tons of money off Johnny Manziel. So it's never been amateur. It's not high school. Like it's this college where everyone was making money in college sports except the athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't hate it. Like,
But I know there's people who are very passionate about our friends over at Beware Bulldogs. Very passionate about NIL.
Oh, they're
ruining-
not NIL. Oh,
yeah,
really?
ruining college sports.
I think it hurts maybe the smaller D1 schools such as like Fresno State because a lot of those guys who might play there have a good season and other schools like, hey, transfer here, we can get you this much money. But maybe that just means like Fresno State, like step up your game, become one of those bigger schools.
Yep.
And it might take a while and it might hurt. And it kind of hurts to say that, but like you want to get to that caliber, you need to compete and throw more money out there.
Well, it also takes like your big companies and donors in the area of the school to
take some pride in it.
and to
for sure.
put their money where their mouth is,
100%.
Okay. Phil, you got anything to add on that? You're the only former college athlete on this pod.
Was it Dilfer who was saying like if he catches other coaches like in his players' DMs, he's gonna like make everyone aware of it? Who was it? It was a former.
See, and I don't
Yeah.
know if I really like that part
Well,
of it,
so
Jordan, where it's like you're openly
do
recruiting
think-
guys during the season.
I do think
and-
that they could make restrictions on the transfer portal, like
I think
to where
so.
the portal closes, like where there's more of a defined window of when you can do it, as opposed to like a Jordan Addison of last year transferring to UFC in July,
Yeah.
or all these guys
Yeah,
are going to
that-
start
yeah.
transferring in July. Like I think it should be more of like a month, a 4 to 6 week window of all transfers can happen.
Make up your mind before the established
Yes,
summer.
with no
or-
penalty, and if you transfer outside of that window, there's
You can't
there's
play
a,
some games.
Yes, there's a penalty to it.
Oh yeah, no, it was Dilfer. He was saying
Yeah,
like
it's Dilfer.
It was Dilfer who was saying like if I catch one of these coaches, they're gonna be all. I'm gonna like be tweeting this all over the news and
Yeah.
stuff. It's like, do you know what I'm talking about? Did you see that?
I saw something like that.
I'm like, I agree. Actually, I think
But
Seth's point is
that is capitalism, though.
I agree with Seth's point that if you're like, hey, I'm going to pay you more, I'm going to make you like show up more, you're going to end up getting paid more.
I'm
in
going
the
to make
NFL.
you money.
I'm going to make you more money. Why not go there? I think
Yeah.
I'm totally for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing too is like if you're a big guy at a small school, like let's say we had a player at Fresno State's not a small school, but let's say we just had a complete standout at Fresno State, they're going to make a lot of money. Like I don't
Derek
know.
Carr.
Like Derek Carr could have made a lot of money in while he was in school.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's ended up making, him and Devontae both have made a ton of money. But guys like who's like a better example of like guys who are really important to those teams in college, like a Jalen Cropper, for example. Who knows
Yeah.
what a Jake Hayner? Who knows what they're gonna do? Like, And I know they were in the NIL era, but there's been plenty of guys like that over the years who go to small schools, who are studs at small schools, but just aren't going to be that in the NFL. They're not going to make that much money.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your diva, Trent?
My diva of the week is my daughter's turning 1 here soon, so we're having a 1-year-old birthday party. My diva is when you go to a birthday party for a 1-year-old,
yeah,
and they make you stay there to watch the 1-year-old open gifts. Has that ever happened to any of you guys?
No.
Has it happened to you?
I've gone to parties where like, all right, everybody, so-and-so Susie's going to open gifts. And it's like the kid can hardly walk.
Yeah.
And we got to watch this kid. We
They
got to
didn't
watch
know
her
what to
open
do with the
gifts.
cake.
I'm
yeah,
just
the
biggest
kid
fan
like,
of-
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's pretty fun at birthday parties that you don't open the gifts in front of everybody.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Especially if like maybe it's different if it's your like a little family party. That's different. Like if the kid opens the gifts,
Yes, I agree.
It's immediate family. But like if it's friends, extended family, you're right, Trent. No one wants to watch a 12-month-old child open something they can hardly comprehend.
Yeah, or
No,
even
comprehend
open.
it all.
This kid couldn't even blow out its candles. You
No,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
I agree.
I think kids
Don't make us do this, Trent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Honestly, I'm tempted to do it just to make everybody mad.
the
Like, all right,
stories.
we're all gonna watch. Yeah, like here's Trent's birthday party, his daughter's birthday party. She's opening gifts right now.
I want to watch.
she's
I
won.
want to watch the kid eat the cake though.
and that's it.
yeah,
We find
that's
out
fun.
it's like all
Yeah,
barbecue
no,
equipment that Trent bought for himself.
No, so
Oh,
yeah.
a new smoker.
Like I understand there's a lot of new parents out there. This is their first kid. It's a big deal, first birthday
Yeah.
party. But it's just like we simply don't want to watch your kid
No
open
one,
gifts.
absolutely no one
At
wants
what
to watch
age
that.
is it okay to do the gifts?
I think 3 or 3's
No,
probably
so
okay.
you know,
Three they
it's
can comprehend.
3 and like let's put a limit on gifts, right? Like if we're gonna do at 3 years old, let's do like 5 gifts max. Because at some point, like
They just can't handle. At what point is it full go open gifts with your friends? And
For sure, for sure, kindergartners go
4 and
crazy.
5-year-olds can they go
5-year-old,
nuts.
yeah.
Yeah.
But let me just say this too. Even like, I don't always want to watch. Even if the person's turning 30, I don't know if I want to watch them open all their
Well,
gifts.
you shouldn't be having a birthday party at 30 where you get gifts.
Okay,
For
but
the
that's what I'm
record.
saying. Maybe like, maybe even 10-year-olds.
You know what
like
else-
that's
yeah.
fine. If you're 10, it's like maybe if there's a really big gift that you can share with everybody, that would
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah.
But it's
Ice
like,
cream.
do we want to watch this 10-year-old open 20 gifts?
No,
Well, but
no,
okay,
that's what
open
I'm
them
saying.
later with your
Seth,
family.
Correct. That's what I'm
Seth,
saying.
as an
Seth.
adult, no, but as a 10-year-old, did you? I always thought it was kind of neat to watch my friends see what they got.
I hated
for their
opening
birthday.
gifts in front of people.
So did I.
I was always afraid
Really?
it was going to
Yeah,
be like
I didn't-
something
I
I
didn't-
absolutely hated, and I had to pretend I liked
Yeah.
it.
I
that
didn't
gives,
necessarily
you know,
like it
someone a
either.
hug.
I think what I'm saying is like one of those group ones. I think maybe it's like, oh, you got a slip and slide for your birthday. Let's set it up, you know,
Correct, yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
We did that
Squirt
with our
guns.
girls.
You got a ton of
With our
squirt
girls.
guns.
There's
With
also,
our girls, if there's like a big gift, like as an example, my daughter got a Barbie dream house. We allowed her to open up, and then like the girls at her party, they all played with it after. You know what I'm
So-
saying? Like,
Yep.
Yeah, the other thing that's equally as bad, and this is maybe more Christmas, and I'm probably going to bring it up on Christmas, people who simply do not know how to open gifts.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm talking about like, like you're at Christmas and, maybe you're taking turns and it's like, oh, well, so-and-so takes 15 minutes to open a gift. You know what I mean? Like I'll let
they
you borrow a
carefully
pocket
unfold
knife,
it.
like just rip the paper off. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Big
You know what I'm
twisty.
saying? Yeah, big twisty
is
in
bad.
the house.
No, but here's the other thing that I would say. As a kid, I didn't really like everyone like watching me open the gift.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like I'm a
It
guy
didn't
who
bother me.
really you liked it.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah. I'm not really an attention seeker. I feel like I try to fly under the radar.
I think that kind of does it. Is there anything else you want to throw on this?
Let's
Attention
end on
seeker?
that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, there might not be a draft this week, but remember, don't be rude. Share the dudes. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate it. And go check out that 200th episode if you missed it. That was a fun one. Just a little, rewind of the whole pod. But thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time. And as always, take care.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.